Hi everyone, in this video I'll be going through quadratic factorization. How do we factorize a quadratic expression using the multiplication frame? So let's get started. Let's look at one simple example. Let's say if the question says factorize this quadratic expression over here, when you see the word factorize, you must think about what does factorization mean. It means that I want to turn this quadratic expression into a form whereby it's something times something. And these are two linear factors when multiplied together will give me this quadratic expression over here. Okay, so how do we do that? We will use the multiplication frame. So what is the multiplication frame? It is essentially like when we draw the working, it's like a tic-tac-toe. So let's draw this out. If you know how a tic-tac-toe looks like, it is a 3 by 3 grid. So I'll draw this multiplication frame over here. Okay, and how I will fill this multiplication frame, the top left I'll put a times here to signify it is this term multiplied by this term. Okay, and how to fill in the multiplication frame, I will place the first term, I highlight this in yellow, the first term x squared, I'll place it in the center of the multiplication frame. So let's fill that in. Over here will be a x squared. Okay, next one, the last term of your quadratic expression here, that's in this case I have a positive 6. I'll fill this in the bottom right of my multiplication frame. Okay, then I'll put this as positive 6. So now what we need to do is that we need to identify factors to fill in the this multiplication frame here such that, let me highlight in different color, these two boxes that I highlight in blue, box number 1 and box number 2. These two boxes must add up together to give me positive 5x. So how do we do that? We can write out over here, as a start, we write out the factors of x squared and 6. So something must, and times something must give me x squared, and you know that x squared is simply x times x. Okay, and now we need to figure out what are two factors of 6 that multiplied together will give me 6. So we can write this out at the side. I know that 6 is simply, I have 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. So which factor do I use? Over here it comes to a trial and error. We have to figure out which factor can I sub in into this multiplication frame here such that these two blue terms here will add up to give me 5x. So let's try. Let's say I choose the first one. I use 1 times 6, okay? So 6 is essentially, I write into my table here, 1 times 6. So let's write out the terms in black, okay? This first box here, it will be x times 1, which will give me x. Next box, this box over here, 6 times x will give me 6x. Then now I check. These two blue boxes over here, 6x plus x is 7x, but here is 5x. So therefore, this is not valid. This table here is wrong. But not to worry, let's try that again. We will now try this again with a different factor. We have done 1 times 6, this is wrong. Let's try the other one. Okay, so let's duplicate the multiplication frame. Okay, I'll write this at the bottom over here. Okay. Okay, so now, instead of 1 times 6, my other factors I'll use now is 2 times 3. So let's write that out over here. I'll choose 2 times 3, which will give me 6. So now let's check the box. Here I have x times 2, which is 2x. I write it out, 2x. Over here I have 3 times x, which will give me 3x. And now I check, if I were to add these two terms together, 2x and 3x. 2x plus 3x is equal to 5x. And aha, I have solved the problem. Therefore, this 2 times 3 factor is correct. Okay, so therefore the final answer to this question from this multiplication frame is that, let me write out my final answer over here. Okay, x squared plus 5x plus 6 is equal to, I check the factor here, this is x plus positive 2. Okay, so this will be x plus 2, then times, the next factor will be x plus 3. So this will be x plus 3. Okay, and that is simply how we use the multiplication frame.